So, good afternoon. In this video, I want to talk a little bit about new riders. You've just passed your test, maybe just in your CBT, the butterflies you may feel. Because I had a sudden epiphany the other day that you throw your leg over and the butterflies are sort of gone. Better put that back before it gets told off. So, you throw your leg over the first few times, you might need some nervous wheeze, might need a nervous poo. And you may be spending an awful lot of time watching videos on body position, counter steering, all that kind of stuff. So I just wanted to talk about that really. It's not going to be a deep dive in counter steering, body position, looking through the apex on a country road. Positions 1, 2 and 3 from your IAMs. Just wanted to have a bit of a gentle chat and see. There's certain things that I went in really deep. And if you're nervous and you might go even more and might go deep diving into those kind of videos, they're not really needed, if I'm honest, at that point. Some stuff is useful to know, but do you need to be, have your head right next to the wing mirror pushing through the corner if you do the speed limit? I thought I'd go a little ride and have a bit of a conversation about it, really. And surprise, surprise, I need some fuel. So this is the first time I've been back on the bike since doing 1,000 miles in 24 hours, really, or getting back from that. So at least I cleaned it, but it pretty much got put in the garage, and it got left there as well, the poor thing. So, figured what we'll do in a minute is we'll set up some cruise control and see if you need to know about counter steering, body position, leaning, angles, points of the road on your first few rides. Because the times when I've known that, or times when I've needed to know, but it's usually when I'm going too fast. Too fast for the conditions, too fast for the road, too fast on the bend. So I wanted to make a little bit of a video about that, which we'll do in a minute. So let me go get some fuel, get all the boring things out of the way. I'll see you in a bit. So, I thought what I'll do is a bit of video about nerves, a bit of video about all those videos you're going to watch, the counter steering, tyres, contact patches, how they're conical, so therefore when you move the handlebar, the bike moves with body position, and you're sitting over here or sitting over there, changes the way you ride, right? What I'll suggest is, if you are nervous about riding, the best advice surely can be get on the bike. Get on the bike, ride at your pace, ride roads you know, whether that's with somebody by yourself. I'm a big advocate of riding with somebody, so if there is somebody more experienced, they shouldn't be pushing you to ride faster. They shouldn't be pushing you to ride out of your comfort limit. And if they're in front of you, they should wait. They will pull over to the side of the road and wait. It ain't on you. Try and catch up. Harley boys, Harley boys, Harley boys. But sorry, bit of tism coming out. So it's not on them, or it's not on you to ride to their standard. Because the other thing about this is let's talk about concentration, let's talk about skill. If they've been riding for years and they're a really skilled rider, and they're riding at say 90% of their ability, that'll impact on the down. So you'll be riding at about 160% of your ability if you've only just passed your test, never really rode before, never really rode at speeds. So ride as much as you can. Yeah, if you can ride to work, ride to work. Ride in different conditions. Ride, you know, when it is raining, it is a bit miserable out, because that means if you're on the bike and it does start raining, you already know not to push it, you already know not to give that much lean angle. And the best of the little bit of advice I ever got was mess a little bit around on the bike. You know, there's a lot of talk about people doing that to warm up the tyres at the start of a bike, or start of a ride. It is not warming up your tyres, right? We ain't going fast enough at 37 miles an hour in order to make any blind bit of difference to warming the tyres. What it can do, though, is just loosen you up a little bit. You know, it can make you so you're not so stiff, make you so you feel the bike underneath you. You feel where the steering is. You feel how the bike leans. You're not gripping on hugely with your legs like it's a 1990s Thundermaster or Thighmaster, if anybody can remember what those are. You're not gripping onto the throttle with all dear life. All the blood has gone throttle. All dear life has gone from, all blood and circulation has gone from your hands. So the best thing to do is to get on the bike. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about what the videos that you may have watched are. You may have watched some IAMS videos where they go about riding in position 1, riding in position 2, riding in position 3. I think we all know that if you're sticking out here and it's a right hand bend and you've got your head over the other side of the lines, it's a dangerous place to be. And on your test, they don't judge you on that, they judge you on what your road flow is. You don't want to be right over there, but sitting in the middle of the road, you know, what's wrong with it? What's wrong with sitting here? Absolutely nothing, really. You know, you can overcomplicate it and go, oh, I need to be in this position here, and I can only overtake this car for 0.3% once time, and I get up to speed first and then I move out. I'm in the correct gear. Ride your ride. As long as you give a lot of distance to the car in front, you know what's behind you, and you're not absolutely pelting it down into a corner, chances are you're going to be fine. Okay? So let's talk about object fixation. Okay? So what is object fixation? Object fixation is, I see that sign coming up, I'm looking at that sign, I'm going to go towards that sign. Okay? I don't want to hit that thing, and you're looking at it directly. Okay? You will find yourself doing that, particularly early on. And now I'm not going to filter, I'm going to sit behind Mr. Sportage. You will feel that, and you'll feel that early on. Break the glance. Okay? Just for a second, look away. Oh, well, I got overtook. But I'm doing a video, okay? This isn't a channel called Self-Encrypting Evidence, right? It's Throttle Torque, so it's just talking about random stuff. So, I'll carry on. Oh, wasn't ready for that change of light. And I may just edit it when I pass cars. So yeah, break the glance, look up, just move your head, and move your head to where you want to be. Right. So once we get off here, let's talk about counter steering a little bit. So yeah, you've probably watched a load of videos about front wheel load, contact patch, things that are going to make you safer on the road. anything that encourages you to go faster out of your, hello mate, out of your comfort zone is not going to make you faster on the road. Anything that makes you throw your bike into a corner, particularly when you're not ready for it, is not going to make you safer on the road. Okay, the roads have got speed limits, the roads have got coppers, the roads have got potholes, the roads have got other traffic coming back and through, the roads have got idiots that pull out on you. So yeah, so I tell you what, this is a 60 mile an hour road. Let me set my cruise control to 57. Alright, because you'll be watching videos about braking, putting the weight on the front end, making that contact patch as hard as possible. I better not get caught up by the car that I just overtook. You'll be watching videos about push the handlebar away to go that way, push the handlebar away to go that way, pull it in to go that way, pull it in to go that way. Right? About don't push your weight down, don't push the bike down, and let me just slow down. You know, don't push the bike down, go with the bike, or lean off the bike, hang off the bike. The safest way to ride, as long as you're not an absolute nutter, is within your limits. Okay? So I'm not saying all that stuff is absolutely rubbish. It is 100% correct, but not if you just pass your test, right? Not if you're nervous about riding and a load up. So once again, 60 mile an hour road. Let's set the cruise control, and this is normally known as the mad mile, so therefore you're normally chucking it down here. But let's hope there's police around, and therefore they can see that I am just going at 60 miles an hour. So I'm coming up to a bend. Do I need to put my brakes on to put the front load on my wheel, or do I just simply push it away? Alright, the bike's going that way. I straighten up, I pull a little bit on the handlebars there. I'll watch out for that car. Now I do move to position 3 just in case, but I move back to position 2. Do you need to be anal about that, or is it really knowledge which just makes sense and probably would do anyway? Okay, but because somebody wrote a book about it, everybody talks about it on their YouTube channel. So again, sitting there, the bike wants to stay upright, I'm moving the bike around. If I move weight, does it move? Yes, it does. Now if this was a solid piece of metal and didn't have a hinge here, would it do the same thing? If the tyres were flat on the road and not in that shape of a motorbike, would it do the same thing? Probably not. And I think there's some amazing videos where they built with the front end, they made the handlebars smaller or didn't move, they mounted it here, and yes, you can still move the bike. But do you need to know that on those early days of riding, or do you just need to be safe as you can, knowing what you know? Right? So still, watch out for that car, move them out. Somebody's catching me up. So still, cruise control on, there's a bend coming up. Do I need to adjust my speed? Would I adjust my speed in the car? No, I wouldn't. Why do I need to put front load on the front bike to adjust my speed? I'm doing the speed limit, sort of. Do I need to hang off the bike? Does it make any difference if you're riding country roads at this rate? Now if these bends were a bit harsher, I probably would need to brake. If there was massive chevrons in front of me, probably I'd need to brake. Right, bend coming up, pull it in straight. Now I'm doing 60 miles an hour and we can see that the cars in front are catching up. So I may have to cut this video a little bit shorter. Yeah, he's catching up. Another bend, right hand bend, push that handlebar away a little bit. Yep, bending to the left, pull it towards me, do it with either hand, do it with either bar, bend going that way, push it. Now, at no point am I putting that extra front path, that extra front room, or sorry, that extra weight on my front wheel to give me grip. I'm literally going around some bends on a road. Right? At no point there did I feel the need to lean massively with the bike, or to throw my weight off, put my head against the wing mirror. Alright, I'll meet you in a bit when this car's disappear. Yeah, so that's kind of my point, is don't overload yourself with that knowledge or try to do deep dives. If you are nervous about riding, you want to find out everything, fantastic. You know, and there's a lot better videos out there than me randomly talking about stuff. But if you want to be safe, ride your ride. Okay, ride with others, ride with people that are more experienced, but make your own decisions. Because one dude might go, no, you got to push the bike down. Well, we all do that. There's not one rider that rides on the streets that doesn't occasionally push the bike down. I'll show you why in a second. Right. So, you might see, let's find a pothole. Can't be that difficult to find one around here, surely. We're in Tamworth. Surely there's loads of potholes. Oh, where is one you've... Alright, so there isn't a rider that rides in the street that doesn't push the bike down, probably on the track either. But it is quicker to change direction by going and pushing the bike down than it is to actually move that way. Okay, so I'm not going to put my weight over the right hand side. If I see a pothole in the middle of the road, might obviously counter steer, but I'm going to push the bike down because it's quicker to change direction. And if you're in a slalom in a track, they push the bike down. They push the bike up, they push the bike down. They don't hang off it at that point because it's too slow for you to hang off it. So again, I might be talking completely rubbish, but I think my point is, you counter steer naturally. You cannot steer without being on a bike at realistically anything above 12 miles an hour. You've got to counter steer. You cannot always do something, so you can't always throw your weight, you can't always push the bike down, you can't always flow with it, you can't always lean off it. But do you need to know that to ride on roads? Do you need to know the intricate reasons of the contact patch and the grip and everything else when you've just passed your test? Probably not. Get out, ride your bike, ride with people, and ride to your limits, and ride in your safe way. Okay? Thanks. Bye.